So hey, what's up everybody? Hey, on the last video, we threw in some lowering blocks on the Fury to get it dropped down to the ground, and some of you guys were very adamant about me getting rid of these shackles in the rear. It's how the car came, y'all. I don't have the original shackles, and I'm not buying any right now. So as per your request, I went ahead and just shortened the ones that are on it, and these are going to be just like factory. Without spending 50 bucks. So anyway, that's how we're doing it for now. Real simple, man. I just cut them down and re-drilled them. And the hanger, I mean, it unbolts right off the frame. Doesn't get much easier than that. And some of y'all said I should have just did this to begin with to save myself all the trouble of putting the blocks in. But dude, this will only lower it like an inch, man. I want this thing slammed, so there's no way that alone would have done it. But I want to show you the other side. I'm already done with it. So yeah, there's the other side already done, bolted together, and she's good to go, man. So I'm going to finish up this other side. We'll drop it down. This ought to actually add us 1 more inch of drop, dude, as if we didn't have enough already. Some of y'all are probably thinking that it's going to be too low, but I don't agree. I like it low like that. So yeah, this is actually pretty easy to do, so I'll knock this out right quick. We can move on to something else. Found it was a lot easier if you leave these bolts loose right here and then put all this together, right? Made me a couple spacers to go in there. It's like the leaf spring, this part isn't quite as wide as the hanger. So what was happening is when they put these on, whoever had this before me put these on, and what was going on is the bars, they were this wide, and then they tapered in like this at the bottom, and it just looked horrible. I hated the look. I know all you guys did too. They were way too long, and they're just going to cause the rear end to just kind of flop around and sway back and forth. Not cool. Got some brand new bolts and everything, man. I'm going all out on this. All right, well, that takes care of that. I think it looks all right. It's not bad. Dust a little paint on it, just make it look a little better. So there we have it. Problem solved, y'all. So anyway, this is going to lower it just a little bit more, which I'm totally okay with. I don't mind it one bit. It would suit me just fine to have this down here to where we're actually covering up the lug nuts. I like how that looks, and it wouldn't bother me a bit. I guess some of you guys are under the impression that I wanted to raise this back up to factory height, and there's not a chance, man. I want this thing low. So that's why we put the blocks in. Check this out, man. That is a way better look, not having those stupid shackles hanging way down below the quarter panel. You remember the old, before we trimmed everything off, those things are hanging down to like way down here. I mean, it looks so stupid. Now it has more of a factory look. So anyway, there we go. Problem solved on that. Let's get some gas in it, take it outside and get a better look at it. It's really hard to tell in the shop when you can't really like stand back and get a good look. Let's go ahead and get some gas dumped in it. Isn't it funny how the Dodge keys are upside down? I don't know of any other car that does that. Leave me a comment if you know of any other car that the keys are upside down. It's kind of weird. But anyway, here we go. Let's get some gas dumped in it. Oh, no. I knew I should have grabbed a funnel. Oh well. Somebody commented that they were disappointed that I didn't replace the tank and that I'm gonna circle back and do it later. Look, man, the tank was like $500 or $600. I mean, unless you could find something else that'll fit, which, we'll look for something. But for now, this is what we're gonna do. This is something I had laying around. It's free, so yeah, we're gonna run it for now. Anyway, when I told you guys we were doing this on the cheap, on a tight budget, I wasn't playing around. I didn't even think to show you guys the skirts. This thing actually has the fender skirts, and they're in good shape too. There's one right here. I don't know what this is about, somebody out killing vampires or something, but yeah, look at this. That is in great shape. And the other one's right here. Let's see, don't see anything wrong with it. Look at that, still got the hardware. Flip it over and look at this. I've never actually put any of these on before, but it doesn't look that hard. Guess it's going to slide up into something there. This is probably going to turn. See if we can figure this out. It's probably going to turn, and I guess clip up into there like that. I guess that's what holds it on. So yeah, they're in great shape. Nothing wrong with them whatsoever. They aren't broken or cracked or anything. So really cool. It's got like something scuffed it there, but that's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. The other one doesn't even have that. So awesome, man. Bear with me, it might take a little bit to get it going. We ran it out of gas the last time we had it started. So yeah, man, check it out. Got it outside finally. Get a little better look at it, right? I think it looks great. I love the way it's sitting. Man, I think it looks great. I wouldn't mind it being a little bit lower, to be perfectly honest with you. No stupid leaf spring shackles hanging down excessively. That looks so bad. I agree with all of y'all. That was a terrible look. Well, now that that's done, I thought we would progress a little further on the roof. You can see what we're working with here, Swiss cheese. So I thought I would take some of these here. I get these from Harbor Freight. These are just a little wire wheel I'm gonna put on my angle grinder. We'll work the scaly stuff. That's all we want. This really rough stuff. We want to work that off and kind of smooth it up the best we can so that we could get it ready for our bed liner spray. You definitely want to wear a mask when you're doing this. This is like fogging up the whole shop with rust. All right, you see what it's doing here. It's working off that the scaly rust like we had talked about. And I've already did the whole driver's side. Check it out. You remember this is what it looked like? Well, this is what it looks like after it cleans up. Not quite as bad. You know, it looks pretty rough over here. Somebody said it looks like surface of Mars. I'd agree. So I'm going to keep working at this, get the rest of this done. Like I said, driver's side's done. That spot over there in the driver's side sail panel, believe it or not, it actually cleaned up pretty decent. Yeah, this is a really bad spot. So yeah, got the worst of it off of there, all that scaly stuff, and we can get in there and I don't know, we'll spray something in there to see if we can't neutralize that, slow it down at least. We're not expecting perfection by any means. So we just want it good enough. Hopefully we get a little time out of it, that's all, before we have to spend all that money to put an actual roof on it, which we will do later. I mean, that right there already feels 100 times better than what this feels like. This is really rough. So now that we got the loose scaly stuff off, you'd want to go through and spray some kind of a rust inhibitor, rust encapsulator, something, rust converter, I don't know, something that's going to stop this stuff from spreading any further. And obviously we're going to need to put it on the inside as well. I mean, anytime you're dealing with something where it's like it's got holes in it, you know, it's ate all the way through, it wouldn't do any good to coat the outside of the panel with any kind of a rust converter or encapsulator or anything like that, and not do something to the back side as well. So we're going to have to get to the back side of these panels. Figure here's as good a place as any to start. Get this visor off. Take all this off the front of here. It's got screws all the way across the front here on this trim. That one. So visors seem to be in really good shape. Nothing wrong with them at all. They're not coming unstitched anywhere. The stitching's really good on them. Let's see. I was going to show you guys. We are labeling everything just to be on the safe side. And I went ahead and just kind of taped the screws into the holes that they go in. Just kind of keep them with it. We'll just set it up here for now. And then later on, I'll move them somewhere a little safer, get them out of harm's way. They'll have to obviously go back in before we can drive the car. Now, I'm going to get up here and pull out all these. I mean, you can see lots of screws. This whole thing is screwed in all the way across, and then it's got these other pieces over here, obviously trim, that needs to come off. So after that, we'll have to come in and do seat belts and stuff. So I have never pulled a set of these seat belts out before when they're attached to the roof like that, how they did them back in the day. So that'll be a learning experience. So anyway, let's get the rest of this off. We seem to have come across one that, being stubborn, sometimes a few taps with the hammer, there we go, we'll start to break it free. Now we got her spinning. I couldn't break it free with the drill. It started to try to mess the head of the screw out, so it's like, all right, we better switch over and do it by hand. So hey, we saved it. It didn't get bad enough that we can't reuse it, but I think maybe we'll go ahead and finish this one up with a screwdriver since it's starting to give us problems. It looks like, there we go. Well, that one was easy. We'll see if any of the rest of these are going to give us any problems. So far, just that one. The rest of these seem to be okay. Well, there we go. It's starting to come out. Okay, so that takes care of that. But this material here, you guys are saying that, some of y'all are saying that it wraps around, and it doesn't. It's actually hooked in here. Can y'all see what I'm talking about? It's got these little, right here, it's got a hook, and that headliner material is actually hooked into that. So this is where things get tricky. To get that off of there without just tearing it is going to be hard, because this stuff isn't quite as pliable as it should be considering its age. You see here where some of it's come unrolled. It's actually missing this piece of trim here. We've got the one over on the other side, but this one's missing. And over the years, it's kind of come undone there, and it's not as soft as it should be. You know what I mean? I feel like if I was too rough with it, it would split, and I don't want to split it. So I'm going to try to be as careful as I can with it. So we're missing the piece on the other side, and this piece isn't in very good shape. It's actually kind of cracked and broken around where the screw goes in, and it's missing a chunk here that actually fell out into the floor. I got it down here. I guess maybe we could glue it back together or source some new ones, some better ones. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can get this out of here without breaking it. Just kind of slide that out of there. Hopefully no more pieces come loose. We got it. All right. So it occurred to me, I have not looked inside of this glove box, and I forgot to do it on camera, and so I thought I would do it now. Now, I have not seen inside of this, so I'm kind of leery. Well, hell, there's nothing in there. It's actually really clean. I mean, it's got a few little peanuts in there, little acorns. Something I was noticing, though, is up here, the whole top of the glove box is completely broken out of it. That's kind of weird. Well, that was uneventful. What about the ashtray? Shit. Hey, a penny. Let's see if I can rescue that. I don't know. It looks like it's going to fall down. It's going to fall the rest of the way down in there. Maybe not. Let's see if we can save it. Come on now. There we go. So that one turned out to be from the year 2000. I found two more in the ashtray itself that were, one was a 94 and one was a 95. So they're getting a little bit older. Found a quarter and 2 dimes. I believe this one was a 2002. That was a 2007. And then the quarter was a 2008 Oklahoma scissor tail quarter. Which makes sense because we are located in Oklahoma. So moving on to the little side pieces here. Looks like it's got a screw here and then it just comes off, I believe. This is the only screw I see on this piece. So hopefully it just comes right off of here. We'll see. There's a long screw there. Alright. Let's see if this... Be careful with it so we don't bend it. Yeah, oh, it's okay. So it's got some clips holding the rest of it on. So screw up front, and then it's got some clips holding on there. And man, it's got a lot of rust in it. It must be left over from the roof. Trying to figure out how this ashtray goes back on. I guess it's got a little groove here, a little notch for this to slide up into. And then after that, it's got this piece here that's supposed to catch onto there, I guess, and help it from popping off of there. It wasn't doing its job very well, but I think we got it pretty well straightened out. I need to make sure it's all the way in its little groove there. I believe I got it now. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. So just gonna fine tune this just a little bit, bend that down some more. There we go. That should be all it needs. Look at this. Yeah, I'm actually kind of pulling on it a little bit and it is not falling off of there. So you gotta love the simple fixes. So that pretty well takes care of the front of the car. We need to move on here to the back, get rid of those sail panel trim pieces, and of course it's got its own piece of trim that runs across the top of the windshield back there, just like the front did. So we'll need to get that removed. So it appears this piece needs to come off first. This piece actually is two pieces. That one that went across the front was one piece. This is the overlapping piece, so we'll take it off first. Stick our screws there so we don't lose them. Come through here, take the rest of this off, and that'll take care of this piece. So everything's really easy. I haven't had any bolts snap off or anything. I've only had one bolt that kind of gave me a little bit of trouble, but it just came right out, and we're moving right along with it. There we go. Look at that. Looks like this package tray is going to slide right on out of here, which will suit me just fine. It looks terrible. You can see where it's all busted up here. Not in very good shape at all. It's warped and wavy, so I don't know. We'll figure out something there. Let's see here. It's got a weird little foam and stuff. Let's get rid of all that crap. Let's get it all out of here. All this whole nasty stuff. It stinks anyway. Had lots of mice playing around in here, so I say we just get rid of all this old crap. We'll get the vacuum cleaner out. Next step is to get over here and do something with this trim on the sail panels. This is where things really get sketchy, because you can see, man, it's busted up. See that? Looks like they're just gonna slide up out of it. I mean, it's falling apart, man. That was sketchy, y'all. That's how it goes sometimes. We're missing a little hanger here. It's over here on the other side. You'll see that one there. We're missing it on this side, so all we got is a screw to take out, and then it's on to figure out how these are going to come out. I suppose it's going to have a little cover that's going to clip off. There's the bolt. I'm sure it'll be the same way there and there. Let's figure this out. Let's go ahead and get this seat belt out of here. Easy enough, right? So these are the little brackets that hold the seatbelt up when you want to fold them out of your way, and they just kind of got these little plastic pieces. You got to fight with them a little bit, but they do pop off of there, and then there's a little screw inside of there that'll come out, and then those will be removed. So, you know, that's easy enough. That shouldn't be too big of an issue. So that's cool, because I was wondering about that. I wasn't sure. I've never pulled these old seatbelts out before. So I wasn't 100% sure what I was getting myself into, but that's all right, man. It worked out. That's pretty easy. I'm just going to store these the same way they came off the car. We'll just throw the little screw in the hole, slide the cover down right over the top of them, just like that. That ought to hold the screw in. And we'll put these to the side. Well, we're just going to repeat that whole process over on the passenger side, and then the headliner ought to be ready to come out at that point. So I did manage to get everything out of it. Look how fast everything starts to add up. All the little pieces that have to come out of this car just to get the headliner out. I mean, look at all the, I mean, not this, but you know, all these trim pieces. I went ahead and just pulled that out just because it's gross. We got more pieces I mean, look at that. The whole dash is covered up. Can you see all of this? Lots and lots of pieces. I was kind of dreading doing this just because of that, but I mean, there's just no way around it. So with all those pieces out of the way, I figure we get in and kind of start working this loose. We're gonna have to be very careful because the material does kind of wrap around this edge here. So we don't want to tear anything. Now, we do have trim that'll come and cover it, but if we rip anything out past that, then we'll have exposed tears, and we definitely don't want to do that. So I want to work this very, very slowly. I might get a putty knife or something, kind of work it away from the edge without tearing it. We'll see. So every now and then you'll get to a piece where it just doesn't want to come loose. It's just kind of stuck on there. I just kind of take my putty knife and just kind of come in there and just kind of start working it down from the inside, and it'll kind of start to come loose. See all the nasty stuff falling out of there. It's gonna be a lot of rust come out of there that's been, you know, kind of fell through from the outside where those rust holes are and all that. So it's to be expected. Seems like you could come through here and just barely bend these little arrows straight, and what'll happen is this upholstery will just slip right down off of them. Already got the back side done. It was pretty easy. You have to be careful with this because if yours are rusty, they're gonna snap right off. These seem to be okay. And I should be able just to come up in behind it just a little bit like that and just slip it right down off. It's not proving to be too difficult. Yeah, they just kind of slip right down off of there and you kind of bend them straight. So yeah, what we got here, these little tabs that stick down, and they come right through the edge of the upholstery here on the headliner. So all I'm doing is kind of bending them straight so that the upholstery will just kind of slip down over, you know, right off of them. And then I guess when we put it back on, if it's even going to be possible, we will just slip them back on and then bend the tabs back forward like they were, and that should hold it back up in there. So I'm definitely not good at upholstery, not by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm just trying to kind of wing it here and being really careful. I know it's got these little rods up inside of here that are going to need to come out. That's going to be the most difficult part of this. So we'll move on down to the next one. So we can get it to pop up out of there. Oh yeah, this one's being rough. Already bent my tabs down across the front here, so this should just slip right down off of them now. Pretty easy, right? It's not too bad. There we go. Just doing the same thing across the back. We'll get all this worked loose. We're just about done. We'll work this other side loose with our putty knife, like we did on the driver's side. It should come right out of here. Just about loose all the way across. We'll get the rest of the rods worked out of here, and this thing's coming down. Had ourselves a nice little rat's nest fall out of there. I'm glad that didn't fall on my head. That would have been gross. See if we can get this rod out of here. Just using my trim tool. Easy now. There we go. Got it popped out of the hole there. Once you get one side done, the other side, it just slips right on out. And all that is, that's just there to hold tension on it, so that it stays up, because I guess they just didn't really glue them to the roof itself. I don't know. I see glue under here, so I don't know. All right, I got the dome light undone and all the rods are undone, and it's all to come out of here. I'm going to get out from underneath it. This isn't a good spot at all. Let's pop this rod out of there. That seems to be the last one. Got one more back here. I thought that was the last one. There we go. All right, the headliner is officially coming down. What are these here? What's this? Huh. Got a little something holding it on there too. It's just hooked right onto the rod there, just like that. I'm not really sure. Does that help with installation maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's just something that they use to hold it up there while they're putting it in. I don't know. You guys leave me a comment if you know. So good news. I mean, we did manage to get this whole thing out of here without ripping anything. None of the seams came apart or anything. I'm amazed. The back side of it, got one of my rods sliding out here. Let's get this pushed back in there so it stopped sticking out and getting in the way of everything. But I was expecting the back of this to be like moldy and stuff, and it's not. So yeah, check it out. This is the back side of it, and it looks fine. You know, a little dirty. But it's going to clean right up. Down here's the worst of it. You could tell they had a mouse nest in there, so that's absolutely disgusting. We will get in there and clean that and disinfect it and all of that. But luckily, we did not tear up anything. We didn't rip anything around where the dome light goes in, where the rods go in. You see, it's got, what do they call those, ribs, I believe. And everything is still good, man. We should be able to put that back in if we're super careful, especially if we do it on a hot day. If we wait for it to get a little bit warmer, it'll give us, you know, a little bit of an edge. Maybe we could get that in there without messing it up too bad. So here we are, y'all. This is from the inside looking out. She's Swiss cheese. We kind of knew that already. But this gives you the real idea of what we're working with. Oh my God, y'all. It's pretty bad. I don't know what to do other than, you know, clean off the scaly rust with the wire brush just like we did on the outside. And then we'll spray some kind of rust inhibitor. I don't know, get some vinegar, something to neutralize this rust. And then my plan is to put sound deadening pads or something up in here that has a little bit of rigidity to it that will stick to the roof really good. I mean, if we clean it off good, it'll stick. So yeah, we're gonna have to clean up the roof. I think the wire wheel will do just that just fine. And then we will treat the bottom side of the roof just the same way as we are gonna treat the top side of the roof. It'll be cool to get in here and check these out. This stuff is just gone. It needs to go anyway, and it stinks. We don't want any of that. It smells bad. So let's go ahead and get it on out of here. I was hoping this area was opened up just a little bit more than it is, because it's behind that on the outside where we have those gigantic holes you see there. So it would have been nice to have a little more room to get to them. Now you can obviously come in and cut this stuff out, make your repairs, and then re-weld it all back in. I personally think it would be better to address all that when it comes time to actually put a roof on this car. To me, it would just be a waste of time doing it now. There's no saving this roof, y'all. This roof is toast. The only real way to fix this car is you got to cut all that mess off and replace it. Alright, so here's my plan. Check it out. First thing I'm going to do is clean all the metal off so that it all looks like that there instead of like this and this, right? Got a bunch of metal over here. You can see here I got all these little strips. It's pretty thick. It's a lot thicker than the sheet metal. I've already taken it and just kind of barely worked myself a slight little crown into it so that it's not so flat, because roofs aren't totally flat. This is about where the patch will go. You can see there where we just a slight little crown in it. I think that'll work great. So now what I was thinking we could do is just bring it inside of here, slide it right up in between there. Just like this, right? We'll get it straightened out. And then I could screw it to the inside, right? Screw it from the inside with a bunch of sheet metal screws. And that will kind of put us a little bit of rigidity back in here. I mean, I suppose you get in there and weld it if you want. This is actually stainless steel. I'm contemplating not even using it and just go find some actual metal and put it in there. That way we could kind of get in here and just tack weld it in. We wouldn't be able to tack weld this in being stainless steel, but obviously once that's all screwed in, welded in, or whatever, this is what you'll have. You know, no more holes. We'll have the holes plugged up, and then maybe at that point we could start our bed liner, spray material, whatever we're going to do. This roof is really weak, you guys, and this is kind of, you know, it's a structural point of the car. So it'd be nice to get some metal in there and to kind of, you know, give it a little more strength, because this sucks. So I do like the idea of that stainless steel being nice and rigid. I think it would build some strength back into the roof, but I don't like the idea that I can't tack weld it in. So what I'll do is just cut some strips out of an old hood. We got an old G6 hood here that we could cut some strips out of. Here's another roof skin that we could cut some sheet metal out of. All we need is about 3 strips of metal, I believe. Got some old car hoods back here. This is fiberglass, so that ain't gonna work. That came off an old Thunderbird. Let's see. I hate to cut this up, man. A little HHR hood. I kind of like that old hood. Ain't nothing wrong with it either. Got an OBS hood there. Well, I ain't gonna cut nothing out of those. Those are too good. And I did find another piece of metal here. This is steel. We could use that. That's a brand spanking new Ford grill. Came out of a 79, something like that. Brand new, never even been bolted on a vehicle. Go ahead and tuck that back down inside of there. The sun don't beat down on it. Wouldn't mind buying a truck and just building it around that grill. Definitely can't cut any sheet metal out of this. I need this door to finish up my chop top on the 65. So yeah, we got a 65 Chevy pickup chop top. It's sectioned 3 inches and chopped 3 inches, so we've removed 6 inches out of the body on this one. And you can see here, in order to do this, you have to have that little piece of the door. Unfortunately, that door has to sacrifice its life just for this little piece here, but that's the only way to finish up the chop on this, because we got this door over here that's not done yet. So we'll have to save that door for that, I guess. And besides, I don't think I'd want to cut up a perfectly good door just to fix that old roof. I'm pretty sure we could find some old junk somewhere out here. Got a short white bed here that's going to go on that old truck later. So yeah, unfortunately with this piece being on an angle, when you chop it and you bring the top down, it brings this piece over to where you end up with a gap here. So you can either piece in a little, little gap piece, or you just put in a whole nother piece. And that's what we chose to do on the other one, and that's why we'll do this one here. That way you just got a weld here, and you're done, instead of trying to piece in a little piece here. So anyway, that's what we need that other door for, and we can finish up our chop on that old truck. You guys leave me a comment, man. What do y'all think? What do you like better, man? We got a short step side on it right now with the spare tire. Never cared much for that, to be honest. Or short wide. What do y'all think, man? I think short wide. That's my personal preference, but I'm kind of curious what you guys think. So anyway, I'll keep plugging away on it. We'll come back on the next video and see what we figured out, and hopefully we can move on and start spraying our bed liner spray, get past the roof, do some more fun things. I want to put some exhaust on it, go through a few little things on the motor. The motor seems to be doing fine. No weird noises, no ticking, no knocking, no clicking or anything. So we'll get in and start changing fluids, gaskets, seals, things like that, and fan belts, hoses. You guys know the drill, man. There's lots to do when they've sat around for years and years, and you're trying to get them back on the road, and that's why we're kind of going cheap on the top for now. So not to worry. I keep explaining this in every video. We will come back and actually put a top on this car at some point. We're just not doing it right now. It's not part of the budget. We're trying to get this done super cheap. And we're trying to get by on what we have, because a lot of this stuff we have laying around, and I'm convinced I could get this car going for dirt cheap. So we're going to pick and choose our battles, man. When it comes to the roof, we're just going to cut as many corners as we can and just get by. That way we can spend money in other areas, like getting the car running good and driving good. And then after all of that's straightened out, we'll come back and put a roof, windshield, all that stuff. We'll go full original interior. I can't wait to actually have the original seats reupholstered, and we'll put them back in the car after that. And but for now, it's going to be salvage yard seats. I wanted to show you guys this stuff. This is what we used on the 59 over there when it came to converting the rust and keeping it from spreading and all of that. And I don't know, man. I'm thinking about maybe using it. I've got a little bit left in there that ought to get us by for the inside of the roof. Maybe we can get some more for the outside and all of that. So that'll keep the rust from spreading any further, at least. I still can't get over the fact that with all of these holes in this roof, that this headliner isn't just absolutely destroyed. It just blows my mind. I thought it would at least be covered with black mold or something. I mean, it's just not that bad at all. It's going to clean up, I guarantee it. I'm going to save the old package tray and use it as a template so that I can make a new one. That's super easy. I could do that with my eyes closed. The dash, on the other hand, that's another story. I see myself having to replace that. I mean, it is destroyed. I don't know if we could do some kind of a restoration project on the dash alone. Maybe we can. I don't know. We'll figure it out as time goes by. But it appears that dash is going to need to be replaced. As for door panels, they're easy. We won't have any problems with door panels. We'll get the armrests figured out. And then as far as the bottom goes, it's just come undone here. We'll screw it back on and maybe make us a little filler plate to go along the bottom to kind of cover up the ugly. Just simple things like that will make this interior look really nice, and it'll be done dirt cheap, and anybody can do that kind of stuff. Man, we sure got her sitting a lot better though. I love having the ass end of that car down. I'm telling y'all, man, it would suit me just fine to have it down even a little further than that. And I know a lot of y'all don't like that, but man, I do. I think these things look so good low to the ground because they're huge. And anybody that lowers cars knows that when you lower a vehicle, you kind of change its proportion. I mean, everything just seems fatter and wider and longer. And I mean, you take a car like this, it's already a tank, and then you drop it down to the ground, it just looks like a house. I mean, it's like it's a barn at this point. It's not even a car anymore. It's just humongous, and I love it. Man, does this car have a look. It's very aggressive looking already, and being lower to the ground, in my opinion, makes it look that much more aggressive. I don't know why. It's kind of like NASCAR, you know, those cars, they look fast even when they're standing still, you know, and it's because they're so damn low to the ground, I think. That is a much better look, not having those shackles hanging down to the... That looked terrible. I'm with you guys. That was horrible. I should have just threw that in the last video and just got those on out of there. Some of y'all thought that was going to take care of the issue by itself, bringing the car down to stock level. But man, I never said nothing about bringing this car down to stock level. I wanted to go way beyond that, and that's why I put the blocks in. But you can see there, we're just about to start tucking lugs. And that's the look I like, man. I like for the lug nuts to be kind of up in there a little bit and not showing so much. And if we put the skirts on it, it would definitely be tucking lugs. Maybe we ought to put the skirts on it in the next video, see what that looks like. You guys, please like, share, subscribe. It does help the channel grow, and it helps with the projects, you know. We're on a tight budget. We can't spend a whole lot of money on these things, and everything is super expensive right now. I picked the worst time to try to fix this old girl up, but like I said, I had to get it out of the yard, man. It was just going to hell. You guys see it. I don't think we could have left it out there much longer without ending up with a full-on project, something where we just got to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to put it on the road. I mean, things were starting to seize up, you know what I mean? And that's when things really start to get expensive, and I feel like we saved her just in the nick of time. And even still, it's pricey. I mean, all this stuff adds up. Fan belts, hoses, fluids, just the basic stuff. I mean, you can spend $500 at AutoZone without even trying. So I do thank y'all for watching. I appreciate everybody that's hit the thumbs up button. It helps the videos get suggested, and that helps the videos get watched, and that helps the YouTube revenue. So thank y'all for that. I do appreciate it. I want to thank everybody that's been donating to the channel. The packages just keep coming, man. It's awesome. I can't get over it. All my Patreons, everybody that's member of my Patreon, I do appreciate everybody that sends money, because y'all help out with all that little stuff, man. It really does. There's links to that stuff in the description if you're interested. And again, I do appreciate all the support. So hey, I'm going to keep plugging away on this project. I appreciate everybody watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.